Welcome to Experiencing the Chakras Anew podcast series with AliNICOLE. Wow, and that is me, and also the exceptional and delightful Brenda Lynn. And I'm excited to be here with her and bring this podcast series to you. We do have other segments, and you can find those below in the playlist. And what I want to just mention is that when we come forth to do this particular series, we don't necessarily have a planned agenda. We allow the space to present itself in terms of the value that we can add. The overall objective is that we want you to understand that you can experience the chakras anew in a higher vibrational way, but just in overall how it can support your entire life. So whether you are new to chakra work or you've been knowing about this for quite some time, this particular series serves all different levels. So we just invite you to be present with this experience because we're excited about what's going to emerge today. So Brenda Lynn.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what I've experienced from this work that we've done is that even though I'm really well versed in the traditional aspects of the seven chakras, that something different presents to me almost every time that I do it. If I work on the root chakra, the traditional, the foundational stuff is there. It has to be there. But where it goes on me every time I revisit it is something new. So it's a very dynamic, the chakra system at this level is a very dynamic process that changes and shifts as you evolve and transform.
So it absolutely does. It is very
go back and have a different experience every time.
Right. It's very much a morphing experience and a metamorphosis experience, and really an individuality experience too. And so, as you mentioned, though the foundational premise, has its place, but in this level of the work, it's where an individual gets the access, or gains the access, I should say, the wisdom of their information as it relates to that chakra, apart from some of the information that we're given in terms of it always means this. And so that's the whole concept around experiencing the chakras anew and really having a new encounter with your life. With
a perfect example of that is the colors. Like the colors will present differently. Like
absolutely.
In the foundational chakras, they're pretty standard set colors. The red, orange, yellow, green, the sky blue, the indigo, the crown, the white and purple and brown. But all of a sudden they're presenting as either different shades of those colors, or even in some cases, completely different colors come through. As we've seen, they'll pair with a different,
their companion,
with a companion chakra that isn't the one that's right next to them. So it's a mystery and intrigue, and it's a different adventure every time.
It is. And so on the note of adventure, let's go there. Let's play with that energy while we're in this particular segment here. Is experiencing the chakras anew and having a new encounter is really about having this unique adventure. And so when individuals are on their own unique journeys, right? And we like to explore life. At least that's what we're sort of called to do. Most of us came forth to do that. So being able to explore the chakras in this way, it is your own unique chakra adventure. So Brenda Lynn, what I'm actually feeling guided to at this time is to talk more about the third eye, in terms of that being the adventure portal, so to speak. So if you don't mind, would you set a foundational premise in terms of the brow chakra, the third eye chakra, with the color and some of the foundations, to that, and then we can move forward into the third eye adventure, which I actually have a publication that's called Me, Myself, and I. So I'll put that in the description.
And I as well have got that harnessing the power.
Yes, absolutely.
Third eye chakra, which helps people to open it and develop it and start on this own adventure.
Yeah, we'll have that in the description too, right?
Yeah. So at a foundational level, the third eye chakra, it sits in brow chakra, sits right in the center of the forehead. And it's home to our imagination. It's home to our intuition. It's where we create archetypes and symbols, and we start processing information in ways other than the physical language, the language that we have come to understand. It starts presenting in pictures, and they say pictures are worth 1,000 words, and it's very true. And you see that when you start developing this third eye chakra and opening to that wisdom of the all that is.
Yeah.
So the color at this level is an indigo, which is very dark blue, almost purpley tones to it. And it is that, we talk about the void that people go into, the black being, a lot of people think of black as negative, but it's really just an empty space, a void. And that's what we see in the indigo color. It holds all kinds of possibilities and opportunities. And this is where the imagination can kick in and start creating all different paths for you to go down, for you to explore. And it comes through the imagination, but the imagination is very powerfully paired with intuition. So when it's not just fanciful, daydreaming and imagining and imagination in that sense, it really is spiritually supported, spiritually guided imagination. So things will pop up in your vision as you develop this the foundational level of this chakra. You'll start seeing different things pop up and different pictures and images. And I can't tell you, I never used to see things like I wasn't visual. I was very clairsentient.
Yes.
But now, like, man, the pictures that show up, the things that I see, the things that I recognize, and that all comes from developing that chakra and expanding it and allowing that energy of intuition and imagination to come through and really fulfill it.
Absolutely. Right.
And I don't know what else I can say on it.
No, that was perfect. I was going to say, that was phenomenal. And I'm so glad that you actually delivered it the way that you did, because I believe it sets us up perfectly for this new adventure in encountering the third eye, because at this time, that's what kind of is happening, is having this third eye adventure in this new, unique way. And so I love that you brought up in terms of, yes, the imagination and the intuition, and really the inspiration, which is the in spirit part, the spiritual connection aspect.
That was the word I was looking for.
And so as we are coming into this space, knowing that it's safe and that there's the guide, the spiritual aspect and the connection is really profound, because sometimes when individuals go on exploration, they go on an adventure, sometimes they feel lost and they feel like they don't actually have a map to tell them where they're going. But being in spirit, so to speak, and letting divine right inspiration guide you through this process is the absolute best way to go, so that you're not confined to, oh, here's my map and here's where it says I'm going here. I need to follow this step by step.
It's very left brain, very rational and logical, and it really limits you to kind of the 3D world, because that's where all of those, we can't imagine anything beyond. And I've been guilty of this. Like, I came out of a very left brain profession, and it took me a long time to engage that right brain, that connection to spirit, that visualization. So
yes, right.
And I know that in several of our other videos, one in particular that I remember you taking me through a process that I could see portals, and I would go down rabbit holes, and every time they would take me to these absolutely wonderful landscapes and worlds and worlds of possibilities that came out. And every time we did that, I took a massive leap in my evolutionary process.
Yes, right. Absolutely. And so, we want to allow the space to create that for others and them to have their own unique aspect. And so that's why we're getting rid of the map, so to speak. And that is Brenda Lynn brought up in terms of the left brain, because your internal compass, what most will sort of term as your North Star, so to speak. But we're even going to step aside from that and just allow the guidance of this dimension that you're entering into in terms of the chakra to provide the information in terms of the next right step, So I'm not necessarily feeling that we're going to go into any really deep process, but what I do sense is that we are going to do just some quick third eye brow chakra expansion, and that individuals can start to experience this chakra anew in a new encounter by it's opening. It's what I'm sensing is it's going to start telling, here's where you're headed, here's where you're going, right? And that's going to be unique for everyone. So
for everyone. One of the challenges though, and the reason that we work at the foundational levels of each of the chakras of this system is that in order to really participate at an expanded level, you have to feel safe. You have to feel safe in that environment so that you trust the process in taking you into these different worlds and different possibilities.
Yes. Right. And it is
be
very
anchored in that energy of safety and security.
You're right. Absolutely. And it's something that's anchored within you. So you're not being carried into dimensions of things that are outside of you. It's really, if you want to call it, it's like your own projection, inner projection that's being able to give you the outward picture in a sense, in terms of this is all you. And you're going into these different levels of yourself. So understanding when
Very good point.
Thank you, when you can use your energy body and the wisdom that it contains to be that higher guide. This is honestly what the evolution of the chakra system has been wanting to reveal for so long, and move past a lot of the different things that really keep it constricted. So in terms of just entering into this experience, Brenda Lynn, of course, would you be our demonstrationalist? We're not going to get too deep, but
always.
Yeah,
always. I love that part of it.
Okay, great. Yeah. So if you will, take your right hand and sort of make like you were going to make an eye hole. Like if you were going to make a, well, do it with your fist, like all your fingers, like,
okay.
Yes. Right. But I want you to put it in your third eye, in your third eye, right? And so take 3 deep conscious breaths. And where are you entering into?
I am entering into a meadow.
A meadow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Field, the sun is bright, the sky is blue, the grass is green, the flowers are abundant. That's where I'm coming into.
Okay, that is the adventure that's opening up to you, is you're entering in to a meadow, right? So that means that the third eye wisdom right now is wanting something in terms of expansion with you as it relates to, when you think about a meadow, what comes to mind? What comes to your mind first?
Fresh, new, joyful.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Really
there you go. Yes. That was, the energy. So this new expansion around freedom. So what's happening with you at this point is this is a new adventure of freedom. But with sort of a meadow type of theme, right? So so be present with that, because and imagine that the meadow is your third eye chakra. That is the wisdom. That's the field, the playing field that you're in. That's the adventure. So let's hear about you starting this exploration there. What does that feel and sense like? What do you get a sense of, I should say?
I get a sense, I see an abundance of different flowers and blooms, and they all represent a different opportunity and possibility. So I'm seeing a very broad landscape of colors before me, and representing every possible energy within our beings.
Nice. So tap your third eye 3 times and then ask what's ready to be explored. What pops up for you out of that meadow, or just anything that is coming up for you?
A bright purple color, light purple color comes up. It's the only thing that presented itself.
Yes.
So,
all right. So a bright purple color. So now be in that color. Just be in that color, because there's wisdom there, right? And it's not just representing the like crown chakra energy coming in. It's actually indigo presenting itself in a very different format for you. So just be present, you know, with that. So what's ready to be explored? What's ready to be playful?
I see a bunch of spaceships.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Wow. I don't control this stuff. Like, they're just presented as just exploring other worlds.
So let's go into another world within you. So I'm going to get you to cup your third eye again. All right. And take as many breaths deeply until you feel guided to stop. And then you can let us know where you enter into.
Wow. I entered into this space within myself. It kind of presented like a toolbox of healing modalities, of healing strategies that are very, very advanced, but very much available to me.
Wow. Oh, that is
like a kid at Christmas. I'm going through this toolbox, looking at all of the different things and things that I don't even recognize.
Right.
Yeah. So
so let's be with that, because what's actually coming up is that some of what you don't recognize does have a familiar tone to it, but what it is, it's almost like the evolution of something that you've explored before, just much like exploring the chakras, where you have the foundation, of course, and you've worked with that level for quite some time, and then next thing you know, a different level, advanced level, presented it to you, and then being able to get that wisdom from there, it took you somewhere else, right? And so much even what's happened now, you're coming to a toolbox that is an expansive reservoir in a sense, but what it is that you're familiar with healing, and so you recognize that it's a toolbox of healing, but now there's different tools, like you said, more advanced methods, modalities or so, that are ready, you know, to be explored, right?
And when you say that, the first one that I pull out, and I think you and I have talked about this in the past, where I have the ability to draw negative energy into my body and filter it through my body and send it out as really bright fuchsia, loving energy. And I see that one coming up first. So I have been in the past familiar with my ability to do this. I just didn't really know what to do with it.
So let's be with this, because now what's actually happened now is that there's a different way that this will present itself, and I'm very familiar with this because I've had that same gifting. But what happens is, because it's expanding, and as I said to you, remember, there's some familiar things, but they're going to take on sort of the evolution. So this is actually what it is for you, is that before you could empathically, of course, be able to sort of absorb that and transmute it, right? Through the body, through the senses, through just, different levels in you. But now what's happening is that through works that you create, the transmutation is happening in that way versus not so much in the body anymore, right? Because
and the one thing that really shows up is I've had that ability. I think I've done that, but it's never been at a consciously directed level. Where what I see now is that I can consciously use this. And in the vision, I'm seeing using it with individuals, but also like with large groups of people, stadiums of people, and just clearing that whole environment from that, which I have not done before.
Yes, because what will happen is it sort of activates, within. So let's be here, and I'm then going to sort of share with those who are participating with this in terms of how they're able to really expand this context for themselves. Because, of course, as they're doing their own processes, everyone has different things that are coming up, for them. So within this, instead of necessarily being present with people in a stadium, like physically, let's imagine that you are there in a sense, but let's imagine that actually no one's in the stadium and it's just you there, right? So what larger message wants to emerge in terms of, if you had to have a core theme or something that you would just speak a word to these individuals, what would that be?
This is taken to a different dimension that most of us haven't visited. I haven't visited at this point. And things move faster, they go deeper, they go broader. The possibilities are just beyond what our conscious mind has envisioned or imagined, even when we're stretching it.
Right, absolutely, which creates even more expansiveness, which also makes it, as you know, at this level, hard to put into words, which is perfect, because then it's more vibrational. And so what happens in terms of when I said you being in a stadium and it's you, but it's not individuals, it's like you being able to go before in a conscious way to where different people, when they enter into certain places, the vibration is already there for them to participate. So it's not necessarily that you will always be with a group of people being able to transmute that in a sense. It's almost like you doing some things. And like I said, then it could be in works that come forth. And then that level of the energy of vibration is happening for people individually as they are engaging different products, of yours. And what you'll find is that even some of those can be products that you already have, but now with a higher awareness around the gifting, it sort of goes into it with that particular type of intention. So things aren't linear, as you can see.
Yeah, that's right. It's and I just must say, like, I've done these processes before and they take me into different realms all the time. This one happened to bring in the healing, but I've done this on the financial realm.
Right, absolutely.
On the what am I going to do with my life realm?
Absolutely, right.
Like it can take you into, so just because I've gone into this healing realm today doesn't limit this experience to
just that, right?
So
right, yeah, because it's all connected, right? It very much all connected, but we have to be able to sometimes, as I say, like in reflexology, in acupressure, you touch one area and it's stimulating well-being in another area, even though you may not be working directly, like touching that particular organ. So it's the same with what we do, energy body work, or just however, is that you open up the expansion in one area, but it actually has the ability to transform and evolve so many other different areas. So
now that you say that, I can see
mm-hmm.
the vision that popped in was being able to transmute this energy to heal people's beliefs around themselves, around finances. That's such a big one. And, I do a lot of work in that field of abundance and prosperity. And my background is in traditional finance. But there's so many limiting beliefs around that. And those are based in negative vibration, in contracting vibrations, making people's worlds small. And so, like from this place, if I continue doing this, I could go down the rabbit hole of finance. I could go down the rabbit hole of physical health. I could go down the rabbit hole of where do I want to live? How am I going to serve humanity? What possibilities are out there? I think that's the one thing that the meadow. Yeah, you can go any which direction on it. And we don't want to try to limit people and their perspective to one element here, because this approaches elements that we don't even know exist right now.
Right. And that's the thing, is being able to go on this new adventure is where it takes you. And it's much like going on a vacation where you're just exploring. And that's why sometimes it's good to not, I don't want to say lose the map, so to speak, but just decide that you're going to take the adventure and that the provision is there to take it. And you don't necessarily have to have a destination that you put a label on, so to speak. It is that but as you start going into this process, is that there's some initial core theme or so that comes up, or something that's wanting to be explored. Like with Brenda Lynn, there was the meadow. Then the meadow expanded into spaceships, expanded into, so many different
and I mean,
things.
think of where you could take those. You could hop on. I could hop on any one of those spaceships and go to a different world, to a different place, and experience that. It is endless.
Yeah. And so you want to do that. It's almost like being at a carnival or being at the fair, and there's multiple rides that you could, you could take an event.
All offer a different experience, right?
They all do. But guess what? But they're in the same place, offering a different experience, right? So you want to look at the world like that too, is that you're in the world with multiple people, so to speak, but you are having your own experiences, and there's so much variety for you to explore. So you can have just the core theme in terms of enjoyment with life. So if it's enjoyment with life, that doesn't necessarily come with a map or a formula in terms of this is how you enjoy life. You actually start exploring, and you then evolve, and you're enjoying the exploration evolutionary experience. And that's what the third eye today has opened up in terms of experiencing the chakras anew, of discovering your own unique wisdom within you, and letting it take you to all these different places. And it's like, oh, today we're going to go over here. We're going to go over here, So, so it's just a fun adventure, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, it is. So definitely. So, what we'll do in terms of just, just closing out, here, because this has been great. And I always appreciate you in terms of being able to, when the time emerges, is stepping into that demonstrationalist seat and allowing yourself to be open and vulnerable in that space.
I love it.
Yeah, it just helps others to expand. But how they take this type of process from here and keep evolving it, so to speak, is keep returning to that entry level point that then takes them on different adventures. And it's not even about connecting dots, as you know, Brenda Lynn. It's just letting each experience have its own uniqueness. But some dots can be connected, but it's like you kind of just have to let one journey give birth to another journey and give birth to another journey. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. And this is the first time that the meadow has shown up for me. I've done this process many, many times, and this is the first time I landed in a meadow. Other times I've landed in a garden. I've been in a slingshot. I've been on a trampoline or a springboard, or, like, there's just endless ways that this presents, and just allowing that, I'm in a meadow today. Oh, that's cool. And just allowing the meadow to speak to you, allowing the ideas to come to you. Don't try to formulate, the meadow means this. Right. The meadow's going to take you here. I didn't expect a meadow to take me into space.
No, right. Yeah. And isn't it nice when you don't have to assign a label to the experience?
Absolutely.
And just let it
That's
be
freedom. That's freedom.
There you go. And that's for you what was really opening up more and expanding. But the core, I guess, premise was that it would be an adventure that you're going on, and letting it take you, whoa, on this I discovered more expansive freedom. That was what was calling forth from me. I wanted to explore this. So for others, again, being able to just allow simplicity of an expanded exercise, I should say, of this nature, is to take you into all these different levels. However, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how you experience the chakras anew.
That was a great session. Thank you, AliNICOLE.
Thank you. I'm so glad we're providing, like I said, this podcast series. And I just want to mention again that there's information within the description, and there's the playlist in terms of other segments that we have. And Brenda Lynn mentioned her work with the third eye, and there'll be information in the description with our publications and also other works that we've done in terms of the chakra system. And because it all is really expanding you on a new level, everything that actually we do together is really about the new now context of expansion around the chakras. And though Brenda Lynn has a vast body of work as it relates to the fundamentals, and again, there'll be information below about that, but even with those, it is still a springboard into all of this great expansion. And so you definitely, can avail yourself to that. So Brenda Lynn, before we close out, is there anything that you want to share in terms of what was a kind of an aha for you from this segment here, and kind of what happened for you?
I've done these many times, and I'm not really surprised. I'm awed by what shows up. What I do want to comment on is, when I said adventure, this was an adventure. This is how I look at every realm of life now.
Right.
So adventure, everything I do is an adventure, because it always takes me to a different place. And so when I'm looking at finances, it's an adventure in finances. Where's abundance going to show up? What are the possibilities? What are the things I haven't even considered? Right. So I really encourage people to look at every aspect of their life, every next step that you take it through that guise of an adventure, of an expedition into exploring something totally unique and new to you.
Oh, absolutely. That was magnificently stated. Because that is what it's all about. Is you said the key word again, uniquely for you. Uniquely for you. And you're not confined to, it has to be this way. It's what someone said, it has to be this way. It is what is going to be for you. And that's what this third eye adventure has been about today, is you getting into your own information, right, Brenda?
Absolutely. And allowing every adventure that you take to be unique within your realm as well. So don't say, last time this happened, I'm just going to continue. This is what I do sometimes.
Right.
I'm going to go back to that meadow, and I'm going to take a different path. And then I end up on a spaceship somewhere. The meadow doesn't show up. Something different and very unique shows up for me.
Right. Exactly.
Allowing every adventure to be unique.
Exactly. And on the note, before we close out here, I'm actually felt guided to go to my publication, Me, Myself, and I. It's a mini mind mastery journal guide for emerging visionaries. And so I know Amazon doesn't, they only show just so much, but I'm allowing myself just to be sort of just present with this, just in terms of what can come up. And I think what's happening is that it's the expansion of new emergence for visionaries. So individuals who maybe have not considered themselves to be visionaries, whether visionary leaders, visionary influencers, that this is actually the time for you to enlarge your vision and to actually see yourself as the chief visionary, of your life, and being able to let this be the next adventure, is the adventure of being a visionary. That's that's what's coming up. So that's it. I'm not going to share anything from the publication itself. That was just kind of the wisdom in terms of what expanded. So so on that note, Brenda, Lynn, thank you again. This has been awesome.
You're welcome. Yeah, always enjoy these. Looking forward to the next segment.
Absolutely. And so with that, we're going to close out and wishing you all the best with your new third eye adventure and your new visionary calling, if you will, and the expansion into that, and continue to be with us through this series. And we look forward to being back with you soon, and take care.